You want to succeed, but some days you just can't get yourself to do what you know you should. You waste time, lose focus, and tell yourself you'll do better tomorrow. But tomorrow looks just like today. That's not because you're lazy. It's because your mind isn't trained yet. The real gap between where you are and where you want to be is mental discipline. This audiobook is about helping you close that gap. It's not about motivation. It's about getting your mind under control so you can stop wasting time, think clearly, and take real steps toward success. You'll learn how to stop letting distractions win, how to focus on what matters, and how to build strong habits that move your life forward. You don't need more time. You need better control of how you use it. This guide will help you take back that control. One choice, one thought, one day at a time. Chapter 1. Do what needs to be done without excuses. You know what separates the people who win from the people who watch? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not some hidden skill. It's the simple decision to do what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's boring, even when it's difficult, and especially when no one's watching. Most people know what they should be doing. That's not the problem. The problem is they don't do it. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect motivation. But here's the truth. Motivation is not what builds a strong life. Discipline does. Doing what needs to be done without waiting for the right feeling. That's how success begins. You don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to be in the mood to take action. You just need to be clear about what matters to you and then follow through without asking your feelings for permission. The people who succeed in life, in business, in health, in wealth, they don't always enjoy the process, but they respect it. They understand that feelings come and go, but decisions build your life. You see, excuses are easy. Anyone can come up with a reason to delay. Anyone can tell themselves, I'm tired, I'm not ready, or I'll start tomorrow. But those are the words of a person who stays stuck. Discipline means you silence the noise in your head and choose action anyway. You stand up. You do the thing. You don't negotiate with laziness. You don't argue with resistance. You make a choice and you move. Mental discipline is the skill of showing up for your future even when your present self is trying to pull you back into comfort. It's the decision to sit down and study when your mind says scroll. It's choosing to get up when the bed feels good. It's saying no to the easy option and yes to the right one. Not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. Real discipline is built when you stop making decisions based on how you feel and start making decisions based on who you want to become. Ask yourself this. Where do you want to be a year from now? What kind of life do you want to wake up to? Who do you want to see in the mirror? Because the only thing standing between you and that version of yourself is your ability to act without excuses. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. If you fail today, don't build a story around it. Don't explain it away. Just come back tomorrow and do it right. Strong people aren't perfect. They just keep coming back. They don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. They don't allow failure to become identity. They face it, fix it, and move on. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to stop avoiding the one thing that will move you forward. Maybe it's the call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's the plan you haven't written. Maybe it's a habit you keep promising to build. It's time to stop giving yourself an exit. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Push yourself. Start with what's in front of you. Wake up on time. Write the schedule. Follow the plan. Don't let your energy get pulled in 10 directions. Choose your direction and give it everything. Your mental discipline is like a muscle. It grows when you use it, and it weakens when you give up for comfort. Your mind will resist. That's natural. It will tell you that it's too much, that it's not worth it, that you can rest. Now, don't believe everything you think. Sometimes your brain is trying to protect you from effort. That's not danger. That's growth. Most people think discipline is about forcing yourself to suffer. It's not. It's about choosing growth over comfort. It's about building the kind of mind that serves you, not sabotages you. If you can learn to do what needs to be done without excuses, your confidence will grow, your energy will rise, your self-respect will multiply. Why? Because deep down you'll know you can trust yourself. You'll know that no matter what happens, you've got you. You'll stop being the person who talks and start being the person who acts. And that changes everything. People ask me all the time, how do I become more disciplined? Start small. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Wake up and do one hard thing, then another, then another. That's how discipline builds. Stack small wins every single day. Keep promises to yourself. Don't just plan your life, live it. If you say you'll wake up early, wake up. If you say you'll work out, move. If you say you'll build a business, get started. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Mental discipline isn't about doing crazy things. It's about doing the small things without skipping them. It's brushing your teeth when you don't care. It's making your bed when no one will see it. It's staying off your phone when you said you'd focus. These are the daily battles that build mental power. Discipline is a quiet choice to lead your life instead of reacting to it. And it will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you entertainment. It will cost you easy days. But it will buy you clarity. It will buy you strength. It will buy you the kind of success that people dream about but never earn because they weren't willing to do what needed to be done. You know what's even harder than doing the work? Regretting that you didn't. Living with the knowledge that you had time, had chances, had opportunities, but wasted them because you gave into every excuse. That's a hard life. That's a heavy mind, but it's avoidable. You can change it today. You can make the decision to stop running. Stop hiding behind distractions. Stop lowering your standards just because they feel hard to reach. You're capable of more. But you need to prove that to yourself through action, not through words, not through plans, but through doing the thing that moves your life forward. Bring that right way, the message, the hope, and the story. Such a movement eliminates obstacles to freedom, gesture, to confidence. Don't ask for. You got the time. The question is, do you have the discipline? And if you don't, build it. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. Start with what's uncomfortable. Start with what you've been avoiding. Make the phone call. Open the book. Hit the workout. Write the business plan. Clean your space. Own your morning. These are not small things. These are the foundation of everything. Every time you do what needs to be done, you build a stronger version of yourself. One that can be trusted. One that's not swayed by mood or delay. One that gets up, shows up, and does the work. No one can build your discipline for you. It's personal. It's earned. It's trained. So, stop looking for motivation. Start creating structure. Put your phone away. Write your schedule. Show up for your responsibilities like your future depends on it, because it does. Every single day, you're writing your story. Make sure it's one you're proud to read back. You don't need a breakthrough. You need action. Daily action. No more explanations. No more breaks before the work. No more waiting. It's time to step into the version of you who gets it done. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Do what needs to be done without excuses, and you will build a life that rewards you for the rest of your days. Chapter 2. Control how you think before life controls you. If you don't take control of the way you think, the world will do it for you. That's a fact. Every day you're surrounded by noise, people's opinions, media distractions, social pressure, fear, doubt, and past experiences pulling you in different directions. If you don't learn how to take control of your mind, that noise will become your mindset. And when that happens, you stop thinking for yourself. You start reacting instead of choosing. You start following instead of leading. You wake up one day and realize your life looks nothing like the one you wanted. Not because you didn't work hard, but because your thinking wasn't your own. Strong mental discipline begins with strong mental awareness. Strong mental discipline begins with strong mental awareness. Before you build habits, before you take action, before you plan your day, you need to understand who's in charge up here. Your thoughts shape how you see yourself. They influence every decision you make. They decide how you respond to pain, pressure, setbacks, and opportunity. That's why the first real battle is not out there. It's in your head. You don't get to choose everything that happens to you, but you do get to choose how you think about it. You don't get to control every problem, but you can control the meaning you give to it. And the meaning you choose, that's your power. That's your control. If something goes wrong, do you see it as a reason to quit or a reason to grow? When you feel pressure, do you freeze or focus? That split-second response comes from the mindset you've trained. Most people don't even realize how automatic their thinking has become. They wake up and their brain is already filled with doubt, regret, fear, distraction, and noise. And then they wonder why they can't focus, why they keep falling back in the same habits, why they can't break free from patterns that make them feel stuck. It's not that they don't have time. It's not that they don't have talent. It's that they haven't taken control of how they think. You have to stop letting your mind run without direction. You must decide what thoughts get to live in your head. Don't just think, manage your thinking. Notice it, question it, adjust it. If a thought makes you weak, get rid of it. If a thought makes you stuck, replace it. If a thought pulls you into the past or future too often, anchor yourself back into the present. The more you practice this, the more powerful you become. Mental discipline is not about forcing positive thoughts. It's about choosing thoughts that are useful. Sometimes useful means calm. Sometimes it means focused. Sometimes it means honest and direct. But it's never chaotic. It's never lazy. It's never careless. Controlled thinking is intentional. It knows where it's going. And it doesn't let fear or pressure hijack the direction. To master your mind, you have to slow it down. In a world that wants you to react instantly, discipline starts when you pause. When you take a second to ask, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Is it based on facts or fear? And more importantly, is it moving me closer to the life I want to build? If not, let it go. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. When your mind is uncontrolled, your actions become reactive. But when your mind is trained, your life becomes intentional. You stop wasting energy on what you can't control. You stop thinking like a victim. You stop blaming other people for what you haven't done. You start owning your time. You start protecting your peace. And most of all, you start living on your terms. Train your mind the way you train your body. Feed it the right input. Challenge it with hard problems. Give it rest from constant stimulation. Your brain was not designed to handle endless scrolling, shallow conversations, and reactive thinking all day long. It needs focus. It needs purpose. It needs structure. If you don't give it structure, it will drift. And a drifting mind leads to a drifting life. Build mental habits that protect your focus. Wake up and decide how you want to feel, not based on what the world throws at you, but based on what you choose to think. Start your day with direction. Define your goals. Review your priorities. Remind yourself what matters. Then filter your thoughts through that lens. Anything that doesn't serve that purpose, discard it. You don't have time for mental clutter. One of the strongest forms of mental discipline is learning to direct your attention. Most people let their attention bounce from one thing to another. They can't sit with a task for more than 5 minutes without checking something. That's not freedom. That's mental weakness. And the more you allow it, the harder it becomes to focus on anything that requires real effort. Start retraining your brain. Pick one task and finish it. Pick one thought and hold it long enough to understand it. Stop multitasking. Stop reacting. Stop allowing distraction to rule your mind. When your thinking is clean, your choices become clear. You know when to speak and when to stay quiet. You know when to act and when to wait. You know what deserves your energy and what doesn't. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control your mind. Because the person who can stay calm under pressure, who can think clearly in chaos, who can decide what matters in a noisy world, that person wins. Not because life got easier, but because they got stronger. And it's not just about winning, it's about peace. A disciplined mind is a peaceful mind. You don't wake up in panic. You don't carry stress all day. You don't fall apart when something doesn't go your way. You observe the thought. You face the feeling and you respond from clarity, not panic. That's strength. That's maturity. That's self-leadership. You won't build this in a day. It takes daily effort. It takes mental reps every time you stop a negative thought. Every time you choose a better one. Every time you notice your mind drifting and bring it back, you're building the muscles of mental discipline. It's invisible work, but it leads to visible results. Your relationships improve. Your work becomes more focused. Your decisions become sharper. Your life becomes more stable. But don't expect it to happen without effort. Mental discipline is earned. It requires you to take full responsibility for what goes on in your head. That means no more blaming your circumstances. No more saying, "That's just how I think." Change your thinking. Upgrade it. Clean it up. Because the life you want is on the other side of better thinking. Control doesn't mean you suppress emotion. It means you respond with awareness. It means you don't speak just to release pressure. You don't act just to feel better for a moment. You slow down. You think it through. You make decisions that serve your future, not just your mood. If something is stealing your mental energy, whether it's a person, a problem, or a bad habit, handle it. Stop avoiding the things that cloud your thinking. Clear the clutter, cut the noise, clean up the input, and then rebuild your thoughts around clarity, purpose, and focus. This is how you take your power back. Not by trying to control people or outcomes, but by taking full ownership of what goes on inside your mind. A disciplined mind doesn't need perfect conditions. It creates progress through clarity. It shows up even when it's hard. It doesn't wait to feel ready. It gets ready through action. Start choosing your thoughts the way you choose your clothes. Pick the ones that fit your life. Pick the ones that make you stronger. Leave the ones that bring chaos. And never forget the world is full of noise, but you decide what gets in. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses them. The stronger that decision becomes, the stronger your life becomes. Take control, or life will do it for you. Chapter 3. Remove weak choices that cost you your future. Every person has a future, but not every person protects it. The future doesn't get destroyed by one big decision. It gets weakened by small, careless ones made every single day. The kind of choices that feel harmless in the moment, but carry long-term damage. The kind of choices you justify with just this once, or it's not a big deal. That's how your future gets delayed, diluted, and in some cases completely destroyed. Not by disaster, but by weak decisions that slowly eat away at your potential. When you sit down and look at your life honestly, ask yourself this: which choices are moving me forward, and which ones are pulling me away from where I want to be? That's not a complicated question, but most people avoid it. They don't want to admit that some of the things they do are part of the problem. They don't want to face the fact that their habits, their patterns, their routines, those are things that are holding them back. Not bad luck, not other people, not the world. It's their own repeated choices over and over that are costing them their future. You can't afford to keep living like your time is unlimited. You can't keep wasting hours, days, and months pretending that everything will somehow fix itself. You must remove the weak choices from your life if you want strength to grow in its place. Because every choice is either building your future or slowly breaking it. Skipping the workout, not finishing the task, staying up too late watching nothing, spending money you didn't need to spend, saying yes when you know you should say no. These don't seem like big things when they happen, but stacked over time, they start to write a story, and that story becomes your life. That's what most people don't see. They think they're just taking a break. They think they'll get serious tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, the same mindset is still there. The same weakness is still calling the shots. You have to cut the excuses out of your decision-making. Start calling weak choices what they are, threats to your growth. Don't soften them with explanations. Don't offend them with stories. Be honest. If something is weakening you, remove it. Not later. Not when it's easy now. Because the longer you keep weak patterns in your life, the more they become normal. And once something feels normal, it becomes hard to see it as a problem. That's how people stay stuck for years. Not because they're lazy, but because they've trained themselves to believe their weak choices are harmless. If your future matters to you, your decisions have to reflect that. You can't build strength on top of inconsistency. You can't build wealth on top of emotional spending. You can't build focus while chasing distractions. You can't build clarity while tolerating chaos. The strongest people you know mentally, financially, emotionally didn't get there by chance. They made hard decisions. They removed anything that slowed them down. And they kept doing that again and again. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being real. Real enough to admit that some of the things you're doing are not aligned with where you say you want to go. Real enough to say, I can't keep saying yes to things that are draining me. Real enough to know that growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from sacrifice. If you want to build discipline, you have to cut weakness out at the root. Not manage it, not negotiate with it. Remove it. That might mean cutting out bad habit. That might mean saying goodbye to people who always pull you backwards. That might mean changing your routine, your environment, or the way you respond to stress. It might even mean changing how you talk to yourself. Every weak choice has a voice. It says things like, you've done enough. It's okay to take it easy today. You'll get serious next week. No one's watching. And if you keep listening, those voices grow louder. But you can silence them with action, with discipline, with a decision to stop feeding the part of you that wants these more than growth. Think about how many times you've told yourself you'd start something, how many times you've promised yourself you'd change. Then ask, what got in the way? Most of the time, it's not life. It's not the unexpected. It's you choosing things that feel good in the short term and ignoring what you really needed to do. Weak choices are usually comfortable. That's what makes them dangerous. They don't feel like weakness when you're in them. They feel like relief. But over time, they create stress. They create regret. They steal your time, your energy, your self-respect. That's why they have to go. Not because you're being hard on yourself, but because you're done lying to yourself. The people who win don't have more time. They just stop wasting it on things that go nowhere. They don't keep bad habits around and hope for good results. They don't allow their feelings to run the show. They set standards and they protect them. You don't need more motivation. You need better decision. You need to sit with yourself and say, what am I doing that doesn't line up with my future? What habits am I defending that are really hurting me? What behaviors am I tolerating that I wouldn't accept from anyone else? You already know the answer. You don't need someone else to tell you. You've felt the consequences. You've seen the patterns. Now, it's time to do something about them. Start cutting. Start simplifying. Start replacing. Replace weak decisions with strong ones. Replace late nights with early discipline. Replace distraction with deep focus. Replace complaining with action. Replace comfort-seeking with purpose. Every replacement strengthens your foundation. Every strong choice makes the next one easier. And when it gets hard, because it will remind yourself what's really at stake. This isn't about missing one workout or sleeping in once. It's about building a mind that doesn't negotiate with weakness. A mind that protects your goals. A mind that understands what it's working toward. Because when you forget your vision, your standards drop. And when your standards drop, weakness moves in. Weakness doesn't always look like failure. Sometimes it looks like success with no peace, progress with no direction. It shows up in your inability to say no. It shows up in wasted hours that you'll never get back. It shows up in the way you settle for less when you know deep down you could have done more. There's no success without sacrifice. You're going to have to let go of things that once felt good. You're going to have to walk away from easy path. You're going to have to stop explaining your behavior to people who live with no discipline. That's what commitment looks like. That's what it means to protect your future. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You just need to stop choosing things that pull you away from who you want to become. If your future self could watch you right now, would they be proud? Would they thank you for what you're doing today? Or would they be frustrated that you kept choosing what was easy over what was right? Every strong life is built on clear thinking and tough decision. Don't keep feeding the habits that are costing you clarity, energy, and time. Start showing up like your future depends on it, because it does. No more hiding behind reasons. No more tolerating things that don't belong in your life. It's time to remove the weak choices and replace them with the strength your future need. Chapter 4. Decide how your time gets used every day. Every day you wake up, you are given the same amount of time as anyone else. 24 hours. That's it. No more, no less. What separates people who move forward in life from those who stay in the same place is one thing: how they decide to use that time. Because if you don't take charge of your hours, someone else will. If you don't choose what matters, the world will fill your day with things that don't. The people who stay stuck are not always lazy. Many of them are busy, constantly moving, constantly doing, but not doing what truly matters. That's because they never made the decision to control their time. They react to whatever comes their way. They jump from one thing to another. They do what feels urgent instead of what is important. And by the end of the day, they feel tired but unfulfilled. They did a lot, but they moved nowhere. That's the cost of not making a decision. When you leave your time open, distractions move in. People's requests, social media, notifications, noise, all fills a space that you didn't claim. If you don't guard your time, it gets wasted. If you don't schedule your priorities, your day becomes someone else's plan. You have to be ruthless about where your hours go. Not once in a while, every single day. You have to decide clearly and intentionally what deserves your attention and what doesn't. If something doesn't add to your growth, your peace, your purpose, it's not worth your time. That doesn't mean you don't rest. That doesn't mean you don't enjoy life. It means you stop handing your hours to things that leave you empty. Think about it. What did you do yesterday that truly helped you become the person you want to be? What decisions did you make that brought you closer to your goal? What did you waste time on that you could have skipped? Those are not casual questions. Those are the questions that determine your future. Time is not something to manage. It's something to take ownership of. Managing time sounds like juggling. Owning time means you're in charge. It means you start your day knowing what needs to be done, and you don't wait for motivation to do it. It means your schedule reflects your values, not your impulses. This isn't about being busy. Being busy doesn't mean you're productive. A full calendar doesn't mean a full life. The goal is not to fill every minute. The goal is to direct your minutes with purpose. That starts by deciding in advance what matters most. If you don't know your priorities, everything will feel urgent. You'll chase whatever's loudest. You'll answer every call, reply to every message, and check every update thinking it's important. But by the end of the day, you'll have nothing real to show for it. That's the trap so many people fall into. Not because they don't care, but because they never stop long enough to decide. Decision is the key. You have to decide what your mornings look like. You have to decide when you work, when you rest, when you learn, when you train. If you don't decide, the day decides for you. And most days are filled with distractions. Start building structure that protects your time. Wake up with a plan, not just a list. Know your top 3 priorities before the day starts. Block time for what matters and protect that time. Don't negotiate with every distraction that comes up. Don't let every request become your responsibility. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to keep time for yourself. You are allowed to give your energy to what serves your life. Discipline with time builds power. The more you stick to your schedule, the more focused you become, the faster you grow. And the faster you grow, the more confident you feel. That's how momentum starts. Not from big wins, but from consistent time decisions stacked day after day. You'll notice something as you get serious about your time. Not everyone will understand. Some people will think you're too focused, too rigid, too serious, but that's because they're not used to seeing someone take life seriously. Let them talk. Stay focused. Most people waste time and then blame everything but themselves. Don't become that person. Own it. Every minute, every decision. Time is not just about work. It's about energy. You have to use time in a way that protects your mind. Scrolling for hours doesn't protect your mind. Saying yes to everything doesn't protect your mind. Staying up late, doing nothing important doesn't protect your mind. You need time to think clearly, move with purpose, and recover without guilt. And the only way to do that is to be intentional. Remove the distractions that don't need to be there. Don't start your day with your phone in your face. Don't open apps before you open your goal. Don't let your day be shaped by the outside world. Before you check in with yourself. This is how you take your time back, by reclaiming your mornings, protecting your afternoons, and using your evenings wisely. If something keeps pulling you off track, set a boundary. If a habit keeps eating your time, change the routine. If a person keeps asking for more than you can give, speak up. Respecting your time is a form of self-respect. And when you respect yourself, your life changes. Track where your time actually goes. Most people think they're just taking a break, but they've been stuck in distractions for hours. They think they'll start something tomorrow, but they've already wasted 10 tomorrows that ends now. Be honest. Time doesn't lie, and neither should you. Even the small pockets of time matter. 10 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of focus, 30 minutes of deep work. They stack. They count. They build a rhythm. Use them. Don't wait for the perfect 2 hours. Use the 20 minutes you have. Stop waiting for the best mood. Do it when it's time. This is how you build a disciplined life. One decision at a time. 1 hour at a time. You wake up and decide how your time gets used. You stop blaming distractions and start building defenses. You create a plan and follow it even when it's hard. That's how the future gets built. Not with hope, but with direction. And when you fall off, and you will, don't make it dramatic. Don't throw away the whole day. Get back on track as soon as you notice it. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who quit. Not perfection. Recovery. Real discipline is built in the moments when you could give up, but you don't. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. The things that align with your value. The things that lead to the life you actually want. Not the one that looks good to others, but the one that feels right to you. So from now on, every day when you wake up, make the decision before the world makes it for you. Decide how your time gets used. Decide what you give your energy to. Decide what you no longer tolerate. Decide what your future deserves from you, and then give it. Not tomorrow, not later, now. This is how you protect your time. This is how you protect your life. Chapter 5. Train your brain to fight laziness and comfort. Your brain is not built for growth by default. It's built for survival. That means it will naturally look for what's easy, what's safe, and what feels good in the moment. That's the reason why so many people stay stuck. Not because they're not smart, not because they're not capable, but because they never train their mind to challenge the pull of laziness and comfort. And if you don't train it, you will fall into that pattern without even realizing it. Laziness is not always obvious. Sometimes it hides behind, "I'll do it later." Sometimes it shows up as, "I need a break," even though the break never ends. Comfort is even trickier. It feels good. It feels safe. It whispers to you that you deserve to relax, that you've done enough, that starting tomorrow will be better. But here's the truth. If you let comfort make decisions for you, it will steal years of your life. You'll look back and realize you were capable of so much more, but you chose easy instead of right. To build discipline, you must train your brain like a muscle. You can't wait to feel like it. You can't wait for inspiration. You build strength by doing the thing you want to avoid. The longer you avoid it, the stronger laziness becomes. You don't need to feel motivated. You need to act. That one decision to act without emotion. That's where real strength is born. Training your brain starts by creating friction with your comfort. Wake up earlier than you want. Move your body when you feel tired. Focus when your mind wants to wander. Every time you choose to do the opposite of what's easy, you're reprogramming your system. You're teaching your brain that discomfort is not danger, it's growth. Comfort isn't a reward, it's a trap. It's what makes you scroll longer than you should. It's what keeps you sitting when you know you should move. It's what makes you choose what's fun over what's necessary. It's not always loud. Often it's quiet, soft, subtle, and that's what makes it dangerous. You won't even notice you're falling into it until the days start blurring together and you realize nothing's really changing. Laziness doesn't always look like sleeping in or doing nothing. Sometimes it looks like being busy with things that don't matter. It looks like organizing your desk instead of writing the work. It looks like planning your goals without ever acting on them. Your brain will find creative ways to avoid what's uncomfortable. You have to call it out. You have to recognize the pattern before it becomes normal. One way to break it is to lower the barrier. Don't wait to feel ready for the full routine. Just start one step, one small move. Stand up, open the notebook, turn off the phone. Those actions tell your brain, I'm not here to serve comfort. I'm here to lead. And the more you lead, the easier it becomes to move without overthinking. Create systems that limit your options. Don't give yourself time to debate. If you said you'll wake up at 6 a.m., get out of bed before your mind has time to make excuses. If you plan to work at 9, be at your desk by 8. If you said you'd eat clean, don't keep junk food in the house. Discipline isn't just willpower. It's creating an environment where the right choice is easier to make than the wrong one. There will be moments when your brain will resist everything. It will scream for comfort. It will search for an excuse. That's the critical moment. That's the test. If you can move anyway, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's boring, even when it doesn't feel rewarding, that's when the shift begins. The shift from being someone who reacts to being someone who decides. Discipline is trained in the quiet moment. When you choose to finish the task, even though no one's watching. When you go for the run, even though no one's keeping track. When you say no to distraction without needing applause. These moments don't feel special, but they build something inside you that changes how you live. You must stop rewarding comfort. With time, the more you give in, the harder it becomes to climb back out. Your brain remembers patterns. If you keep choosing rest without earning it, your brain will learn to expect reward without work. That is the fastest way to become stuck. Teach your brain the opposite. That reward comes after effort. That rest feels better after progress. That comfort is earned, not assumed. Don't wait until laziness becomes your personality. Fight it early when you feel resistance. Act faster when you catch yourself delaying. Interrupt the pattern. Stand up. Change location. Breathe deeply. Move with purpose. These physical shifts signal to your brain that you're in control, not your mood, not your tiredness, not your old habits. The truth is no one is naturally disciplined. It's not a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's something you practice every day through repetition, through structure, through intentional choices. The people who seem naturally focused have trained their mind to ignore comfort's void. They've built their life on doing what most avoid. If you want to change your results, start by changing your response to laziness. Don't negotiate with it. Don't make peace with it. Don't turn it into a joke. Call it out. Replace it with move. Give yourself a clear task, a clear window, and remove the option to back out. The more you simplify the process, the easier it becomes to win those battles. Nothing great comes from choosing comfort first. The strongest bodies, the clearest minds, the most successful businesses, all of them were built by people who fought the urge to relax when it was time to move. That's the standard you must adopt. Not for perfection, but for progress, for self-respect, for the life you want to live. You'll never regret doing the work. You'll only regret the time you wasted avoiding it. Every time you fight through laziness, you build pride. You build a version of yourself that's ready for pressure, that doesn't fold under stress, that doesn't give up when it's not easy. That version of you exists, but you have to earn it. Structure your day so laziness has no space to thrive. Use a schedule. Set alarms. Create small deadlines. Don't leave gaps that laziness can fill. Keep your body moving. Keep your space clean. Keep your plan simple. Every layer of structure adds a layer of discipline. Get used to doing things before you feel like it. That is a mark of someone who's serious, someone who's ready to live on purpose. You don't owe comfort anything. You don't need to explain your effort. You just need to show up. Show up early. Show up tired. Show up unsure. Just don't stay where you are. Growth is uncomfortable. Progress is uncomfortable. Success is uncomfortable. But once your brain learns that discomfort is not a threat, it starts to adapt. And once you adapt, things that used to feel heavy will start to feel normal. That's the reward. Not a trophy, not a celebration, but the quiet confidence of knowing that you can trust yourself to act. So stop making room for the habits that keep you average. Start acting like your goals are not optional. Start walking like your future depends on it. Start thinking like someone who's done being lazy. Start living like someone who chooses strength every day. No exception. Chapter 6. Stop chasing everything and build real mental control. Most people today are busy chasing everything. They want to do it all, be everywhere, try every new thing, and say yes to every opportunity that comes their way. But in the process, they end up burned out, unfocused, and mentally scattered. They confuse movement with progress. They think staying busy means staying productive. But chasing everything is not success. It's distraction. It's noise. And if you don't get control of it, you'll waste years running in circles doing a lot and achieving very little that actually matters. You need to stop and ask yourself, what are you really after? Is it clarity, peace, purpose, or are you just reacting to everything that looks shiny? Most people don't take the time to ask that question. They get caught up in chasing trends, chasing approval, chasing more without knowing why. They follow other people's plans and forget their own. They're in constant motion. But when they pause, they feel empty. That's not success. That's exhaustion. Real mental control begins when you stop giving your focus to everything. You can't grow in 20 directions at once. You can't build a strong life when your mind is scattered across 1,000 tasks that don't connect. The more things you chase, the less power you have. And if you don't take control of your direction, the world will keep pulling you in every direction that doesn't belong to you. This is not about doing less just to do less. It's about choosing better, choosing what matters, choosing what moves your life forward in a real way. That means saying no more often. That means not jumping at every opportunity. That means not responding to every message, not accepting every meeting, not following every trend. That means building a mind that's not constantly reacting. Mental control is about knowing what you're focused on and sticking to it. It's about holding your attention when everything is trying to steal it. It's not easy. It requires strength. It requires structure. It requires you to stop thinking that you'll miss out if you don't chase everything. The truth is, you only miss out when you're too distracted to commit to what actually matters. You have to understand something clearly. Focus is not natural. Distraction is your brain will always look for what's new, what's urgent, what feels exciting. And the world is built to feed that addiction. Notifications, entertainment, messages, news, updates, everything is fighting for your attention. And if you don't build a filter, your brain becomes a dumping ground for information you don't need, tasks that don't belong to you, and problems that have nothing to do with your mission. Start by setting clear boundaries. Decide what deserves your time. Decide who gets your energy. Decide what goals are real and what goals were just noise you picked up from someone else. Mental control means filtering your life. If something doesn't serve your values, your goals, your peace, it doesn't get access to your mind. Not because you're arrogant, because you're focused. You can't keep living like every task is urgent. You can't keep treating every opportunity like it's your responsibility. You have to let go of the fear that if you don't chase it, you'll lose something. The truth is, what's meant for you becomes clearer the more you clear your mind. And clarity comes when you stop running from thing to thing and start being still long enough to think clearly. Build a routine that protects your focus. Don't start your day with distractions. Don't let your phone dictate your thoughts. Don't begin every morning by reacting to the world. You need to anchor your mind before the world tries to hijack it. Review your goals. Review your values. Ask yourself, what's the one thing today that will move me forward? Then protect that task. Guard that hour. That's how focus grows. That's how mental strength builds. Don't give energy to things that don't give you results. Don't drain your mind with endless scrolling. Don't waste your best hours on activities that lead nowhere. Track your time. Study your patterns. Notice when you feel distracted. Notice when your energy drops. Change your habit. Replace the noise with clarity. Replace reaction with intention. You don't need more apps. You don't need another tool. You need discipline. You need the ability to choose your focus and hold it. You need the ability to say no without guilt. You need the confidence to stay on your path, even when the world is moving in another direction. That's real control. Not just knowing where you're going, but refusing to let anything pull you off course. It's easy to get excited about something. It's harder to stay committed when that excitement fades. Most people are stuck in the cycle of starting everything and finishing nothing. They start a book, then stop. Start a project, then switch. Start a goal, then quit when it gets boring. That's not lack of time. That's lack of control. Discipline means you finish what you start. It means you follow through even when it's not exciting. It means you don't chase something just because it's new. You chase results. You chase progress. You chase mastery. And mastery only comes when you give your focus the time to deep. You don't get good at anything by jumping around. You get good by staying. If your life feels scattered, look at your focus. If you feel stuck, look at your commitments. If you feel tired, look at what you've been giving your energy to. Most burnout doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from doing too many things that don't matter. You don't need to quit everything. You need to commit to the right view. That means cutting out the mental clutter. Say no to random distractions. Don't open tabs you don't need. Don't keep a to-do list filled with things you have no intention of doing. Clean your calendar. Clean your digital space. Clean your mental space. Give your brain room to think, to breathe, to work deeply. You will feel uncomfortable when you stop chasing everything. You'll feel like you're missing something. You'll feel the urge to jump back into business. That's normal. Sit with it. Let it pass. The more you practice stillness, the more you practice focus, the more natural it becomes. Your brain will start to settle. Your thoughts will sharpen. You'll feel less rushed, less reactive, more grounded. Real mental control is calm, clear, steady. It's not fast. It's not flashy, but it's powerful. It allows you to move with purpose. It allows you to make decisions without panic. It allows you to handle challenges without falling apart because your mind is not chasing everything. It's anchored in what matters. You don't owe your time to everyone. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't need to prove your worth by doing more. You prove your strength by doing the right things with full attention. You lead your life by leading your mind. From this day on, stop chasing everything. You've done that. You've seen what it leads to. Now, it's time to build a mind that holds focus, that stays strong under pressure, that doesn't give energy to every noise and every urge. It's time to take control, not just of your time, but of your thinking, your direction, your actions. That's how progress happens. That's how peace is created. That's how real success is built. Not through speed, but through clarity. Not through more, but through control. You don't need to run faster. You need to run smarter. You don't need to do more. You need to think better. Make that decision now. Build real mental control. Not tomorrow, Not next month. Now. Every day you wait, you lose time. You lose focus. You lose power. And your future is worth more than that. So choose clarity. Choose discipline. Choose control. And never let your mind be pulled in 20 directions again. Chapter 7. Track where your focus goes and protect it daily. Focus is not something you find. It's something you manage, something you protect, something you choose every single day. If you don't track where your focus is going, you'll lose it without realizing it. You'll spend hours locked in distractions, jumping from task to task, giving your attention to things that don't move your life forward. And you'll look back and wonder where all your time went, where your energy disappeared, and why your progress feels so slow. That's not a time issue. It's a focus issue. Most people don't protect their focus because they don't even know where it's going. They assume that being busy means they're being productive. But there's a difference between being active and being effective. You can spend the whole day doing things and still feel like nothing got done. You can fill your schedule and still have no progress. If you don't know what you're focusing on and why, you'll always feel behind. You'll always feel like something's missing, like you're not doing enough, even when you're doing too much. To build mental discipline, you need to treat focus like a limited resource, because it is. You only have so much to give each day. If you waste it on distractions, interruptions, and things that don't matter, you'll have nothing left for the things that do. It's like money. You spend a little here, a little there, and by the end of the day, it's gone. The same goes for your focus. If you're not careful, you'll spend it all before noon. Tracking your focus starts with paying attention to what pulls it, what takes you off track, what drains your attention without your permission. Is it social media? Is it a phone that's always within reach? Is it checking messages while pretending to work? These little habits seem small in the moment, but over time, they shape your ability to concentrate. They weaken your discipline. They create a pattern where your mind is constantly jumping, never settling. That kind of thinking doesn't lead to deep work. It leads to mental clutter. You need to watch yourself. Look at your day honestly. When are you most focused? When are you most distracted? What activities help you focus better? What environments keep your mind clear? The more aware you become, the easier it is to spot what's hurting your focus and remove it. You can't protect what you don't track, and you can't improve what you don't measure. Keep a record of your distractions. It doesn't have to be complicated. A simple notebook, a few lines a day. Write down what took your attention, how long it lasted, and how it made you feel afterward. Over time, you'll notice patterns. You'll see which habits are robbing you. You'll learn which hours of the day you're mentally sharp and which hours you're most likely to drift. That kind of awareness gives you control. It gives you the power to shift your environment, your habits, your schedule. Protecting your focus means setting boundaries, not just with people, but with yourself. You can't keep letting your phone decide when your mind gets to rest. You can't allow every alert, every notification, every random idea to pull you away from what you're doing. Discipline starts when you decide your time is not for sale. It starts when you tell yourself, this task deserves my full attention, and then you act like you mean it. If you don't protect your focus, no one else will. The world is built to pull your mind in every direction. Every platform, every app, every headline is designed to get your attention and keep it. That's how they make money. But you don't build a meaningful life by giving your attention away to everything that flashes. You build it by learning how to shut the door, sit with your thoughts, and do what matters without constantly checking for something better. Remove the things that create mental noise. Clear your desk. Close your tabs. Turn off your notifications. Don't leave distractions around and expect to resist them. You're not weak for being tempted. You're human. But strong people don't rely on willpower alone. They change their environment. They make focus easier to achieve by making distraction harder to access. You also need to stop multitasking. It might make you feel productive, but it's slowing you down. Every time you switch tasks, your brain takes time to readjust. you lose momentum. You lose clarity, and you train your brain to stay shallow instead of going deep. If something is important, give it your full attention. Finish one thing before jumping to the next. That simple discipline will make your thinking sharper and your work more effective. Schedule time for deep work. Block out periods where you focus on one important task. No interruptions, no checking, just full concentration. It doesn't have to be all day. Start with an hour, then build from there. Those hours will become your most productive. They will become your edge because most people are too distracted to do deep work. And the few who can will always have an advantage. But focus is not just about work. It's also about energy. Protect your energy by avoiding useless conversations. Stay away from negative people who drain your thought. Don't get caught up in arguments that don't help you grow. Mental clarity comes when you stop feeding your attention to things that lower your state. Protecting your focus means protecting your peace. You also need time to unplug. Constant focus without recovery leads to burnout. Your brain needs space to recharge. Take breaks. Step outside. Go for walks without your phone. Spend time in silence. Do things that help your mind reset. The sharper your recovery, the sharper your focus when it's time to work. End each day by reviewing your focus. Ask yourself, what did I give my attention to today? Was it worth it? Did it bring results? Did it build momentum? Or did I waste it on things that didn't serve me? Those questions might be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. They teach you where to adjust. They remind you that every day is a chance to improve. Mental discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about noticing when you slip and pulling yourself back. It's about creating systems that make focus easier and distraction harder. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your patterns. Track your patterns. Refine them. Build a system that supports the person you want to become. There's a big difference between feeling busy and being focused. One leads to stress. The other leads to progress. One fills your time. The other builds your life. Choose wisely because your time is not coming back. And every day you spend scattered is a day you lose forever. You don't need more hours. You need more control. So start now. Watch your focus. Track it like it matters because it does. Write down your distractions. Review your patterns. Clean up your habits. Set clear intentions each morning. Decide what deserves your attention. Then give it everything you have. No half effort. No mindless drifting. Just clear, focused action. One day at a time. And when you slip, and you will, don't beat yourself up. Just come back. Refocus. Realign, reset. That's the discipline that builds real strength. Not in loud moments, but in quiet decisions, not in big wins, but in small habits. Train your mind to value focus over noise. Train your habits to support clarity over chaos. That's how progress becomes consistent. That's how success becomes sustainable. Your focus is your life. Where it goes, everything else follows. So protect it like something sacred, because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Track it, guard it, build it, and you'll build a life you're proud of, one clear, focused day at a time. Chapter 8. Let go of routines that keep you stuck. Some routines help you grow, and some routines quietly keep you stuck. The difference between progress and frustration is often buried in the small things you do every day without questioning them. People think routines are always good, always productive, always a sign of discipline. But that's not true. A routine that once helped you can eventually become the reason you're not moving anymore. What once pushed you forward might now be holding you in place. The biggest danger is that routines feel safe. They feel familiar. They don't challenge you. They don't make you think. And that comfort can convince you that everything's okay, even when nothing is changing. You wake up, do the same things the same way. Tell yourself you're working hard, but deep down you know you're just going through the motions. There's no fire, no growth, no real movement. And the longer you stay in that loop, the harder it gets to break out of it. Letting go of a routine doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're growing out of it. It means you're no longer willing to live the same way just because it's easy. When you stop to look at how you spend your time, ask yourself, does this still serve the person I want to become? Does this pattern still support my growth? Or am I doing it because it's familiar and safe? Most people don't change routines because they're afraid of the unknown. They think, what if the new thing doesn't work? Or, what if I lose the structure I have? But staying with something that no longer serves you is a bigger risk. You lose time. You lose momentum. You lose years doing things that no longer challenge you, no longer excite you, no longer bring results. Your routine should evolve with your goals. What helped you get started won't always help you level up. Maybe you started simple steps, waking up earlier, reading daily, working in short blocks that help you build discipline, but now you're capable of more. Yet, you're still stuck in beginner's loop, repeating what once worked, but now it's slowing you down. Real growth requires a regular check-in with your habits. What you tolerate becomes your limit. If you never upgrade your approach, your results will stay the same. You'll feel stuck, and you won't know why. Because on the surface, you're still doing all the right things. But those right things became outdated. They became automatic. They stopped challenging you. Routines should create movement, not repetition. They should give structure, not trap you in patterns that no longer fit your life. Think about it. Are you doing the same workout because it's effective or because it's comfortable? Are you following the same schedule because it's efficient or because you're afraid of change? These are hard questions, but necessary ones, because every outdated routine you hold on to is taking space from a better one you haven't tried yet. If you want more out of life, you have to do more with your habit. That starts by letting go of anything that keeps you mentally, emotionally, or physically in the same place. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start with what feels too easy, too dull, too predictable. If you're never challenged, you're never changing. If your routines never make you uncomfortable, they're not pushing you anymore. Break the pattern by adding something new. Change your environment. Adjust your schedule. Introduce a new goal that forces you to think differently. Shake up the way you start your morning. Rearrange your day so it serves your energy better. This isn't about being busy. It's about being honest. You know when a routine is keeping you alive and when it's just keeping you occupied. Your brain loves comfort, but your future doesn't grow that. If you want to build a different life, you can't keep doing the same things the same way. You have to build the courage to let go even if the old way still works. Good enough isn't the goal. You're not doing all this to you're doing it to improve, to evolve, to become something more than you were. A routine becomes a trap when you stop questioning it. So start asking questions again. Why am I doing this? What's the outcome? Am I still growing here? Am I still learning? Am I still improving? If the answer is no, it's time to adjust. Maybe you need to change how you work. Maybe you need to learn something new. Maybe it's time to face the thing you've been avoiding, the next level you've been putting off. Don't wait for life to shake you up. Don't wait for things to fall apart, to realize your routines got stale. Take control before that happens. Choose to level up before you're forced to. There's power in deciding for yourself that it's time to move on. You don't need permission to outgrow your current structure. You just need the honesty to admit it's not working anymore. Letting go also means trusting yourself. Trusting that you'll figure out a better rhythm. Trusting that change won't break you. It'll build you. People get stuck because they're afraid of losing control. But sometimes real control comes from release, from making space, from clearing out what's no longer helping so something better can take its place. Be aware of routines that are easy to start and hard to leave. They create the illusion of progress while holding you back. They make you feel safe while keeping you small. And they waste your most valuable asset, your time. You don't get that back. So don't spend it repeating yesterday just because you're afraid of trying something new today. Growth happens when you challenge your routine, not when you surrender to it. A strong routine builds a foundation, but once it becomes too comfortable, it's no longer building, it's maintaining. And maintenance isn't movement. You weren't built to stay the same. You were built to adapt, to stretch, to reach further each day. That requires fresh input, new effort, and a willingness to disrupt what feels automatic. Evaluate your habits with fresh eyes. Stop running through your day like it's already decided. Take control again. Redesign your life based on where you want to go, not where you've been. That means creating time to reflect, to test, to refine. Don't keep adding more into a broken system. Fix the system first. The right routine will support your energy, challenge your limits, and deliver real results. Not just a busy schedule. This is how discipline grows. Not through blind repetition, but through conscious improvement. You learn, you adapt, you level up, and that means releasing what no longer fit. Some routines are like old clothes. They serve you once, but they don't fit anymore. You wouldn't wear something too tight, too small, too outdated. So why do you live that way? Let go with purpose, not out of frustration, not because you're bored, but because you're ready for more. When you release the old routine, you're not giving up. You're creating space for something better, something more aligned with the person you're becoming. Don't hold on just because it's easy. Easy doesn't build anything lasting. Let go because you want to grow. Let go because comfort is no longer the goal. Let go because staying the same no longer excites you. That's not failure. That's growth. That's wisdom. That's discipline. Your time is limited. Your energy is precious. Your mind is capable of more. But you won't unlock it by repeating routines that lead nowhere. Choose to evolve. Choose to question. Choose to reset. And most of all, choose to let go so you can finally move forward. Chapter 9. Stick to routines even when you feel nothing. There will be days when you don't feel motivated. You'll wake up and everything will feel dull. The energy will be missing. The fire won't be there. Your mind will tell you to rest, to take a break, to deal with it later. Nothing feels exciting. Nothing feels urgent. It all feels empty. And that's the moment when most people pause their progress. That's when they step back, wait for inspiration, and hope it comes back tomorrow. But the truth is, real growth happens when you keep going, even when you feel absolutely nothing. The mistake people make is thinking that emotion should drive action. But emotion is unreliable. Some days it shows up, most days it doesn't. That's why relying on feelings to guide your actions is dangerous. It creates inconsistency. One day you're disciplined, the next you're distracted. One day you're focused, the next you disappear. You can't build anything strong with that kind of foundation. The most powerful routines are the ones you follow without asking how you feel. You wake up and follow your schedule. You go through your checklist. You do the task not because you feel like it, but because it's part of who you are now. You've built a standard and you live by it. That's the kind of discipline that separates people who win from people who wish. There's a kind of strength that's built in silence. No excitement, no motivation, just you and the task, just you and the commitment. You're not chasing emotion. You're honoring a decision. You made a choice to grow and your routines reflect that. You don't need a reason every day. You don't need fireworks. You just need to show up. Think of how many times you've skipped something important because you didn't feel like it. Think about how often you've said, I'll do it tomorrow, only for tomorrow to bring the same emotion. This is the loop people live in. They keep waiting for a spark that never comes. But action creates energy, discipline creates movement, and movement brings progress. So even on the days when it feels like nothing is working, keep moving. There's a quiet power in following your routine. When your emotions are flat, that's the moment when you prove to yourself that you're serious. Anyone can follow a plan when they're excited. Anyone can start strong, but only a few can stay consistent when the feeling disappears. And those are the people who rise above. This isn't about being robotic. It's about being committed. You're not ignoring your emotions. You're just not letting them control your behavior. You're separating feelings from responsibility. You're putting your values above your mood. That's maturity. That's leadership. That's strength. The truth is the most important days are the boring ones, the quiet ones, the days when nothing feels urgent but everything still matters. These are the days that compound, the days that build a different version of you. You're laying bricks one after another. It doesn't feel special, but over time you build something strong, something real, something that can't be taken away. Your mind will resist. It will whisper, "Take it easy." It will remind you that no one's watching. It will tell you that skipping once won't hurt, but it does. Not because of the task you missed, but because of what it does to your self-respect. Every time you follow through when it's hard, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you can rely on you. That trust is worth more than motivation. That's what builds mental toughness. You need to keep your routines, even when they feel empty, because consistency isn't about excitement. It's about repetition. It's about structure. It's about keeping your mind trained. Discipline works like a muscle. If you stop using it, it gets weaker. But if you keep showing up even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel disconnected, you strengthen it. You keep it sharp. You keep it reliable. And you will have to remind yourself often why you started. You'll have to remind yourself that these routines are not for today. They're for who you're becoming. You don't work out just to feel good in the moment. You do it for your health, for your strength, for your future. You don't write every day because each session is inspiring. You do it to sharpen your mind, to build clarity, to keep the habit alive. The world doesn't reward short bursts of action. It rewards endurance. It rewards the people who build systems and stick to them. It rewards those who stop chasing motivation and start mastering consistency. That's the path that works. It's not exciting. It's not loud, but it works. You need to accept that not every day will feel good. Not every routine will bring you instant result. Not every step forward will feel meaningful. But if you stay consistent, if you keep showing up, those small steps will turn into something powerful. They'll give you momentum. They'll build identity. They'll transform your life from the inside out. Keep your standards high, especially when you don't feel like it. That's when it counts. That's when it matters most. That's when most people give up. And that's your advantage. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You just need to keep going. One step, one page, one workout, one task. Over and over. Even when your heart isn't in it. Even when your energy is low. Because eventually your effort will catch up. The results will come. The momentum will return. And when it does, you'll be ready for it. Because you never stopped. You stayed the course. You honored your word, and you became the kind of person who finishes what they start. The discipline to stick to routines when you feel nothing is what separates the serious from the casual. It's what separates growth from maintenance. It's what separates high achievers from those who stay in the same place year after year. That's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. They want results, but they don't want repetition. They want transformation, but they don't want to endure the dull days. But you're not most people. You're here to build something solid, something that lasts. And that starts with a decision to keep going. Not just when it's exciting, but especially when it's not. This is your test. This is your edge. Anyone can move when they're inspired, but only the disciplined move when they feel nothing. So build your routine. Stick to it. Respect it. Let it carry you through the low moments, because it will. And when the feelings return, they'll meet a person who never stopped, a person who already earned the results, a person who never needed motivation to show up, a person who lives by choice, not by emotion. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you become unshakable. Stick to the routine, especially when you feel nothing, because that's when everything is being built. Chapter 10. Prove to yourself that you are in charge. There comes a point when you can't keep hoping, wishing, or planning your way into a better life. You have to prove it, not to anyone else, but to yourself. You have to prove that you're in charge. That you're not being pushed around by your old habits, your doubts, your emotions, or your past. That you're no longer waiting for someone to save you, validate you, or tell you it's time. Because if you don't take the lead in your own life, everything around you will continue to decide for you, and eventually you'll become a stranger to your own goals. Being in charge is not about controlling everything around you. It's about controlling yourself, your time, your effort, your attitude, your decisions. That's real power. And you don't prove it through words. You prove it through behavior. You prove it when you choose to get up on time. When you follow through with what you planned. When you don't let temporary feelings drive permanent decisions. You prove it when you choose structure over chaos, clarity over confusion, growth over comfort. Most people say they want change, but they continue to act like they have no control. They blame the clock, the weather, the people around them. They shrink in front of difficulty. They tell themselves they'll start next week. And deep down, they stop believing in their own ability to follow through. That's when they lose trust in themselves. And once that trust is broken, it's hard to feel confident. It's hard to feel proud. It's hard to feel strong because you're constantly negotiating with yourself instead of leading yourself. You prove you're in charge when you stop breaking the promises you make to yourself. If you say you're going to do it, do it, whether it's exciting or boring, whether it's easy or difficult. You don't owe yourself comfort. You owe yourself growth. Because every time you do what you said you do, you earn back your own respect. You build internal proof that you are the one in control, not your mood, not your distractions, not your past. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming consistent. No more excuses. No more waiting to feel ready. You are already capable. You just need to stop handing your control over to everything that pulls you away from your purpose. Start making decisions like someone who actually believes in the future they say they want. Your actions are either backing your vision or blocking it. If you've been stuck, if you've been drifting, if you've been feeling powerless, it's time to take that control back. Start small. Wake up with intention. Move with purpose. Don't just go through the day. Command it. You don't have to scream it to the world. Just show it through discipline. Show it through structure. Show it through your ability to stick to what matters. Even when life tries to pull you off track, proving to yourself that you're in charge isn't about achieving something big in one day. It's about the way you carry yourself in the small moments, the way you handle the distractions, the way you manage your time, the way you stick to your routine when no one's checking on you, the way you respond when things get tough, not with panic, but with clarity, not with frustration, but with control. Every time you say no to something that weakens you, you strengthen your control. Every time you focus, when your mind wants to drift, you prove your discipline. Every time you take action, when it's easier to sit still, you remind yourself who's running the show. These small wins add up. They form the foundation of a stronger identity, one that doesn't crack under pressure, one that doesn't fall apart when life gets hard. Stop looking around for someone to tell you what to do. Stop chasing shortcuts. Stop trying to avoid effort. Get in the driver's seat. Take responsibility for how you spend your time. Take responsibility for what you tolerate in your mind. Take responsibility for the energy you bring into your day. If your life isn't where you want it to be, own that, and then start fixing it step by step, one decision at a time. You don't need to be faster than everyone else. You just need to be in charge of yourself. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stop pretending you're powerless. That story ends here. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You're not at the mercy of your habits. You're not stuck in some endless loop unless you choose to stay there. You're not out of time. You're just out of focus. Get it back. Write down your goals. Make them clear. Then match your actions to those goals. If what you're doing every day doesn't reflect the life you say you want, something needs to change. Not next month, not when it's easier. The longer you wait to take control, the harder it becomes to believe that you ever can. No one is going to hand you discipline. No one is going to build your routine for you. No one is coming to make sure you stay focused. That's on you. That's the part most people don't want to hear. But the moment you accept that is the moment everything starts to change, because now you stop waiting and you start acting. And that shift is what brings results. This is about becoming reliable in your own eye. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't flinch when it's time to lead themselves. No more waiting for permission. No more needing someone else to push you. You wake up, you know your priorities, and you execute, whether you feel like it or not, whether it's fun or not, because that's what a leader does. And leadership begins with self-control. You can measure whether you're in charge by how often you finish what you start, by how often you show up, even when it's inconvenient, by how well you manage your impulses, by how much you protect your time, by how quickly you get back on track after slipping. That's the real scoreboard. Not likes, not applause, not what others think, but how you perform when it's just you and the choice in front of you. And when you live like this long enough, everything around you starts to change. People notice. Opportunities increase. Confidence rises. Not because you force anything, but because your discipline speaks louder than your words. Your control becomes your energy. It becomes your presence. You walk into a room and people feel it because you're no longer chasing. You're choosing. There's no magic formula, just daily proof, daily actions, daily wins. That's how you show yourself what you're made of. That's how you build a life you're proud of. Not by trying to impress others, not by waiting for motivation, but by leading yourself with focus, strength, and maturity every single day. This is your chance to reset, to reclaim your time, to rebuild your habits, to rewrite the way you show up. It starts with one decision. I'm in charge now. Not my past, not my laziness, not my distraction, not my doubts. Me, I'm in control. And I'm going to prove it. Not once, not when it's easy, but every day until it becomes my way of